Welcome to this episode that's all about Miss Universe Philippines 2025 headshots. I'm Dani, and in this episode, in no particular order, I'm going to reveal to you my favorite headshots. I'm going to share with you actually a top 20, and then I will reveal my number one headshot. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. It means so much that I'm able to do this because of you. And I want to say thank you to everybody helping me with all the pronunciations. I actually have that episode up right now to help guide me with these pronunciations, so hopefully I can do a better job than last time and we'll keep improving throughout this season. So let's jump into it. I'll add that if you need help preparing for your next competition, check out my free pageant prep course. You won't believe how many resources are in that. And then also follow me on Pinterest, where I share hundreds and thousands of pre-styled looks for pageant competition. Lucena City. So what I like about this image is that the tone in her hair is also matching with the tones in the makeup, but it's all soft. Everything is very, very well blended. It's kind of dreamy looking. And this is another style, I would say, of hair that you can go for. Sometimes we see the hairstyles that are so polished, not a hair is out of place. Hers would be like right below that, or we can still see a few little hair strands here and there. It's not completely brushed through and sprayed down, but I think it's lovely. I think it creates for a very soft look. Iligan City. Oh, I'm not sure how close I got to that one, but she is lovely here. Now, one thing I want to say about this image, I like the hair up. I think she looks gorgeous here, but there is something I think a little bit off with the color of her makeup. I'm not a really big fan of the orange tint in her lip with the very saturated light pink cheeks. I think we needed to either go one way or the other and maybe reduce a little bit of that saturation in the makeup. I would have loved the image so much more if that's what we were seeing here, but she's still in my tops because honestly, I just cannot ignore how beautiful she is in this image. Wow. I'm a little bit confused when it comes to our overseas contestants, exactly what their titles are going to be. When they announce them on stage at the pageant, I heard some really long titles, but for now, I'm just gonna call her Filipino Society of San Francisco because that's what I'm familiar with. So I just have to say this is actually my number one smiling headshot out of the group. If I were to break them up between our serious, sexy looks and then our smiling facials, this is my number one smiling shot. I just love it. She looks golden, she's glowing, she's genuinely happy. The smile is not like too big though, not to the point where it's awkward or distracting, but she's just so beautiful in this. Well done to her team and whoever styled this, whoever edited it, shot it, all of it. Just, I'm such a fan. Ozami City. Wow, okay, this image, I think the first thing you're gonna notice is just the look in her eyes, that piercing gaze at the camera. So a little bit unique. This kind of reminds me of the look in the eyes of a lion that we see on the prowl, and she is definitely on the prowl for the crown. So this is a lovely image, very, very simple hair, makeup, styling, and none of that hides any of her natural beauty. Laguna, we have another smiling headshot. There were a few of them this season, and this is really, really well done. So the hair is beautiful. It looks quite polished. The makeup is stunning. I feel like this is how she also projects and translates on stage as well. She looks friendly. She looks like somebody that's approachable that you would want to meet in this image. So I really, really love it. Bacolod City, just stunning here, and I'm gonna say that again and again and again throughout this episode. I don't know what else I can say about these women because they really are just so gorgeous, but I really love the hair here. The lighting is quite soft. I think that the makeup is very impactful for her eyes, and then to balance out that entire look, they went with a very neutral, glossy lip. So pretty, and a very soft facial expression here as well. So well done to her and to her whole team. Quezon City. So I'm loving this image because specifically it's so different from her image last year. And you know what? I love when a contestant comes back and she's just like, you know what? We're trying something totally new. It's a different year. It's a different pageant, different judges. I want something new. So I really like this. I'm also a fan of when contestants rock some really beautiful jewels as well in an image. I think that's very fun. And I would also say her makeup, it's very light, it's bright, it's pretty, it's soft. It kind of reminds me more of how she was looking in preparation for Miss International, where she did very well, obviously, first runner up. And it looks very different from the makeup we saw on her headshot last year, where the lashes were quite thick. She had a soft pink lip then as well. But I like this change. I think this looks great on her. Iloilo City. This is just like a Pageant 101 headshot. She's got the teased hair, very smoothed, out of her face, charming smile. She just looks beautiful. The makeup's not overdone here, just a natural pink flushed lip gloss. I think this is a solid image to submit for a pageant. Well done. Angeles City, just so elegant, and honestly her facial expression reminds me of Marilyn Monroe. I don't know if you thought about this as well, but Marilyn Monroe would have this very iconic gaze. She would half close her eyes and kind of peer at you, and it was just so iconic, and I'm seeing a very similar expression here with Angeles City. Aside from that, it's a lovely image, really well shot. She's very well lit. Editing, hair, makeup, all of it, I'm a fan. Filipino Society of Canada East. So we have another beautiful smiling headshot here. But this image, it kind of looks like something that is right off the camera. It really doesn't look like they did much editing, but I think it does a lot to show her real beauty. Like, it feels like I'm just sitting face to face with her, and this is exactly how she would look. I can see her eyes and her skin texture and her hair and her smile and just all of it. All of it. She looks very beautiful, and this is quite a tight shot as well. So this image definitely stood out. Benguet, beautiful, simple, straight hair. The makeup is lovely. She has a very tan skin tone, so I like that we're just leaning into that with all of these brown neutrals in her makeup. She does not need very much to stand out. This is very, very well done, and it's one of my favorites. I'm gonna need a little more help with this one. Sinaloan. Hopefully we're getting a little bit closer. So she is one of my favorites. Her eyes really look beautiful in this image. One thing I will say though is it ended up being right on my edge because her hair looks red or orange in the image, and I did not see her looking like this at the press presentation. I actually prefer that what I assume is the natural color of her hair. So I hope that we go back to that. I don't know if it was just the lighting, the edit, I don't know what was happening here, but I didn't want to deny how beautiful this image is, so I still kept it in this group. But I do hope moving forward she will change back any of her images back to the color of hair that we're seeing with her on stage, but I feel like her beauty is undeniable in all of her images. Nueva Ecija, her shorter hairstyle and the much softer styling of it. Her hair in this look reminds me of the stars of the 60s and the 70s, and in the movies when they would sort of shake their hair out when they would have a moment in a movie where they're being carefree. And it reminds me of that. Just so pretty. It just looks very touchable, right? Her hair looks so soft. She looks great here. Interesting to see a little bit more use of shadows, and for her specifically, the shadows are really helping to play up her bone structure. She has very, very beautiful cheekbones, so she looks great in this image, and that's why it made the list. Baguio. Ooh! Okay, another beautiful image from Baguio. I really loved her during the press presentation. She looked beautiful on stage, and it looks like she's translating very well on camera. And I do feel like there is a difference. Sometimes there's contestants who look really beautiful live, and then there's just something off about images. She is not one of those contestants. Also, I feel like it also has to do with the photographer, the lighting, the hair, the makeup, the image that's selected. And let me give an extra note. That's why there were some other images that you won't see in this episode, because I really think that they did a little bit too much of a profile. When we start to lose the eye in the back in our images, I feel like it's a little bit too severe for a pageant headshot. And so I like to kind of make sure that we can see fully both eyes in the image. But let me take it back to her image. Very, very beautiful here. Also, the way that they release these with this edit, it looks like she's wearing a gold evening gown with pearls. So, really cool. Quirino? Let's hope I got that one right. What a natural beauty she is. And this image really stood out to me because the lack of over editing, and that's another reason why there's some images that I absolutely loved, but I did keep them out because of the editing. So I really like this. I mean, you can see some texture in her skin. Her nails are very well kept. The lip color, just a very subtle gloss. The hair, it's not overstyled or oversprayed. It almost looks like this is right off the camera, and I like that. it just goes to show for how beautiful she is. Muntinlupa, really, really beautiful here. I love that she's glowing in this image. I think her skin looks so beautiful here. I love the straight hair, and then it's a little bit wind blown out of her face. I love that it's not concealing her face. They did a really great job with all of her makeup. It's soft. She looks beautiful in this image, so that's why it's one of my favorites. Davao, so very unique in comparison to our other headshots. She's the only one that I saw with a flower in her hair. But what I like about this one is that her makeup here, it's so neutral. I mean, she's really leaning into the natural pigment in her lips, which is lovely. And I mean, it's a really kind of like a no makeup look for her here. And I think her eyes are so beautiful, and she just looks great. And even the hair has more of a relaxed curl or a wave to it, and it makes her stand out. She's leaning totally into her natural beauty. Bohol. Oh, I love this. I love the wind in the hair look. This is very well done. I don't know what lip gloss she's wearing, but she sold it to me. She looks absolutely beautiful in this image. You could easily use this even for a cosmetics brand. It looks very commercial. I really, really love this image. Filipino Society of Southern California. This is actually one of my top 5 looks. Absolutely striking. When you look at this image, in my opinion, when I look at the entire group, especially if I were to lay them all out on a table, she is one of the contestants, especially I think just because her natural facial features. She has big eyes. So because of that, she's gonna draw you in. She's really gonna capture you, but they're beautiful here. Everything is beautiful here. The makeup is quite minimal, the eyebrows, the straight hair, just like the facial expression she's giving to us. I love this image so much, and that's why it's in my top 5. Naga City is one of the images also I would put into a top 5 for this round. Oh my goodness, absolutely beautiful. What's interesting is we see a little bit more of her outfit, a little bit of earrings here, and we didn't see that as much with other contestants, but oh my gosh, the hair is shining. Her makeup is making her eyes stand out, and then once again, we're seeing just a glossy, very neutral lip. The facial expression is soft. It's interesting to see that she seems to be sort of leaning on something. Maybe her elbows are rested on the ground or on something, but beauty, 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 beauty. This is a beauty headshot. If you've been keeping count, I've just shared 20 headshots that I love, and now I'm going to reveal my number 1 pick. That will be number 21, and she is Taguig. So you might be a little confused why this is actually my number 1 this year, because I talked about how I prefer a more straight on headshot and not so much of a profile shot. That is true. Of course, there's always going to be exceptions. The moment that I saw this image, my first thought was just yes. Yes, I love it. It was a knee-jerk reaction that this was my favorite image. I love the highlight on her cheek and how that's picking up because of the studio lights. I like just the small earring. I like the hairstyle here. We actually normally see her with long hair, but so it looks like they kind of pinned this up to give her a different look. Absolutely breathtaking. I love her, and I loved her last time. I loved her finals evening gown last time. I love her, and I'm really, really rooting for her. She has to be in the top 5 again, but no surprise if she does take home the crown this year. Good luck to all of these ladies. I'm so impressed every single year, and I know it's always so tough for the Philippines, and these ladies fight till the very end for that crown, which is why I feel like whoever wins is going to be very deserving. So good luck, ladies. I'm enjoying your journey, and I can't wait to cover more of Miss Universe Philippines.